I used to be the last person to know. Every single time, someone would have feelings for me and I'd find out months later through a mutual friend or an awkward confession I wasn't prepared for. And my first reaction was never flattering. It was always some version of, wait, how did I miss that? The honest answer is I didn't know what to look for, because secret love doesn't announce itself. It doesn't show up with a sign. It hides. It disguises itself as friendship, as coincidence, as just the way that person is. And if you don't know the psychological signs, the specific research-backed signals that leak out no matter how hard someone tries to suppress what they feel, you will miss it every time. I missed it for years. I'm not missing it anymore. And after today, neither will you. Here are psychological signs that someone is in love with you and hasn't said a word. Sign 1. They tease you differently than everyone else. I had a friend in college who roasted everyone. That was just his personality. Sharp, quick, funny with everyone he met. But the way he teased the girl he was secretly in love with, completely different. Lighter, warmer. Like there was an invisible line he never crossed, specifically with her, even though he crossed it with everybody else. Psychologists call this affiliative teasing, a specific type of playful humor used to create intimacy and test emotional safety with someone we're attracted to. It's different from regular banter because it's calibrated, careful. There's an underlying gentleness to it that isn't present in how they joke with everyone else. Me paying attention to this changed how I read certain friendships entirely, because if someone teases you with a softness they don't extend to the rest of the world, that softness is coming from somewhere specific, and it isn't just friendliness. Sign 2. They react to your pain before you've explained it. This one is the one that gets me every time I think about it. Myself, I've had people ask me what was wrong before I said a single word, before I even knew my face had changed. And looking back, it was always the same specific people who caught it that fast. Here's the psychology. When someone is deeply emotionally invested in you, their brain develops what researchers call hypervigilance to your emotional state. They become acutely sensitive to micro-expressions, the tiny, barely there shifts in your face that flash for less than a quarter of a second. Most people's brains filter these out, but a brain that loves you has learned to watch for them without even trying. So if someone consistently catches your mood before you've announced it, if they're already asking before you've opened your mouth, that level of emotional attunement isn't accidental. It is love paying extremely close attention. Sign 3. They bring you up in conversations you weren't part of. I found this out by accident once. A mutual friend mentioned casually that someone had brought me up at a dinner I hadn't attended. Not in a big way, just referenced something I'd said, shared something I was working on, mentioned me in passing. And when I asked why, the mutual friend just shrugged, said they do it a lot, actually. Psychologists link this to something called intrusive thinking, a hallmark of early-stage love where the person you have feelings for occupies your thoughts so consistently that they naturally spill into your conversations even when they're not present. You are on their mind so often that you start appearing in rooms you never entered, and that kind of mental real estate, the kind where someone thinks about you even when there's no reason to, is not something people give to someone they feel nothing for. Sign 4. They notice when you're excluded and fix it quietly. This is one of the most tender signs on this list, and one of the easiest to miss. When you're in a group and somehow left out of a moment, a conversation you weren't pulled into, a joke you missed, a plan that formed without you, someone who loves you secretly notices immediately, and they fix it. Not loudly, not in a way that draws attention. They just quietly make sure you're included. They turn to bring you in. They repeat the thing you missed. They create a small bridge back to the group. Behavioral researchers call this protective inclusion, and it is driven by the same attachment mechanisms that make us look out for people we love. They can't stand watching you be on the outside of anything, even for 30 seconds. Sign 5. Their texts to you have a different energy. I know this sounds modern, but the psychology behind it is ancient. When someone loves you, the way they communicate shifts, even in writing. Their messages to you are longer, more thoughtful. They respond faster than they do to other people, even when they're clearly busy. They reference things from previous conversations. They send things that made them think of you with no real reason or explanation. Psychologists call this written affect display, and studies consistently show that the warmth, effort, and responsiveness embedded in someone's written communication accurately reflects their emotional investment in the relationship. Me comparing messages I'd received from different people at the same time in my life, the difference was obvious once I looked. One person's messages were functional, Another person's felt like they were written for me specifically, like each one was a small, quiet attempt to stay connected. That difference is not style, it is feeling. Subscribe, because there's so much more coming.